very windy day. There are also storms that eventually happen, and thunderstorms. But it adds dynamic weather events to the world. So this should be Herbalist's hut, and I am going to pretty much pick every single herb that she has to offer, because it is always useful to have more herbs. You never know when you're going to need them all. So I should be able to now go talk to her.
Yes?
Oh, right. The woman named Claire. Last time we freed a wraith from, or we destroyed a wraith around a well in an abandoned village, and her name was Claire. And she mentioned that I think it was her sister or aunt, was the herbalist in here. So.
Listen, ever heard of a woman named Claire? Lived around here?
Heard of her? A mild way to put it. Claire was a friend. The only person dear to me in all of White Orchard. Until her husband, Volker, quarreled with the lord of the manor. He then gathered the family, moved out into the woods to start a new settlement. The lord and his retinue rode there to convince them to return. They were to be civil. No forcing, no bloodshed. But you saw. Word is Claire said something about the lord's son, Florian. Something that made the lord furious. But who knows the truth?
Lots of misfortune for such a small village.
'Tis so in every village. Even the smallest. You need only ask. But let's not end on a teary note. Here, a bit of solace.
Because I tracked her down, I got a little bit of experience, and I got a little bit of cash, and I got some alchemical ingredients for it. Essentially following up with a quest that was, in actuality, completed already. Wow, you gave me quite the collection of herbs.
Yes?
But that's not really the reason why I'm here. The griffin. Did she harm the woman?
Griffin do that to her?
Delina. Yes. Attacked her at night. She was walking in the woods.
At night? Through the woods? In wartime?
Meeting a boy. The young, you know, do foolish things for love. Wounds are healing, but she will die. Blood's pooling in her skull. Nothing my bruise can do to help.
I could try helping her, or I can kill them. No, we could try helping her. This also brings up...
Could try to help her with one of my potions. Swallow can heal internal hemorrhages.
But?
Witcher's potions aren't for humans.
She'll die as it is.
Yes. A peaceful death soothed by your concoctions. If I give her Swallow and something goes wrong, the whole village will hear her screams.
I understand. Do as you will.
So that brings up the issue of the Witcher's potions, where their increased toxicity level is kind of the reason why they're for Witchers only. Witchers, through their augmentations and their mutations, have an increased metabolism, and so they can metastasize toxins significantly faster, which allows them to use things that are toxic to human beings, like the Witcher potions, which I should be able to... I don't need this at the moment. I want alchemy. I don't know if I have made Swallow yet. Potions. I have not made Swallow yet, so I need Salandini. Salandini? Is the yellow flower. So I need to make that. Alright, but yes.
Yes?
So I might be able to actually buy that from... No.
Tell me something about yourself. What's your story?
Learn about her first.
A sad one. Do you know the Temple of Melitele in Alanda?
Do I know it? Can't remember how many times I've been there, how many times Mother Neneka stitched me up.
We must have missed each other. I started to become a healer under Mother Neneka. I was but 18 when they took me in, an age at which teachings interest one far less than love. There was a boy, Goslav. He'd bare his chest to work. The novices couldn't keep their eyes off him, tripped over their own feet, dropped things. I left the temple for him. We passed a lovely summer together, and then he left. Neneke refused to take me back. My parents uttered not a word, gave me a travel cloak and a small coin pouch. I struggled long to find a place where I'd feel safe, needed, until I finally arrived here. End of story.
See, that Mother Nenica is a reference to the book series, in which the Witcher oftentimes would go to that specific monastery, which is kind of it's a temple dedicated to an older god, but very well respected. And it's significant. It's pretty much autonomous in its area. Like, it falls under a kingdom, but the kingdoms kind of the king leaves it alone because it's older than the kingdom is, and it has lasted longer and existed longer than many of kingdoms in the area. But yeah, that's a nice subtle reference to the book series.
Got any herbs you're willing to sell?
I'm sure I can find something.
But we are looking for these. I need some of them. I don't need that many. 5 should do. Do you also have anything? We're definitely going to buy the decoction. Or what are these? White Gull is significantly more important than Dwarven Spirit, and I am out of money. Because money is rather tight at the beginning. Well, actually, it's rather tight kind of always. This series does or the Witcher game does give you, it puts forth enough issues, or enough things requiring money, to keep you kind of low on money. It's where you have to think about what you spend your money on. You can't just buy everything.
Farewell.
But those will probably be
Yes.
useful investments for the future. But I did make the swallow, and I can give it for the potion to Lena.
Got a potion for Lena. Swallow.
First sign of spring. Symbol of rebirth. Fitting as names go.
We'll see. Like I said, could harm her. Deeply. Works on me immediately, but I have a faster metabolism. Effects won't appear in her case for a few days.
Why'd you choose this in the end?
Decided it was better than doing nothing.
I like you, Witcher. Here. A small gift. For giving a damn.
Yes, I completed the quest on Death's Bed. That woman might recover, might die horribly, or could have a brain hemorrhage and become essentially an invalid for the rest of her life. Venom extract is quite good, and the manuscript page for the cursed oil is also very good. So I believe I'm not going to read to this specific book. There are just an unbelievable amount of books in this game. Night Wraith Decoction. She did give me quite a bit, did she not? History update. Night Wraiths, Plague Maidens. Ah, yes. So, Night Wraiths and Plague Maidens are pretty much the same creature. They're all wraiths and specters, but they come from different aspects. Like, we have fought a noon wraith before. That was the wraith in the well. They are most powerful during the noontime, and they're vengeful spirits. Normal wraiths are just kind of dead people that have unfinished business or want revenge in general. Night wraiths specifically exist and are most powerful, as their name suggests, during the night. Plague Maidens are one of the more interesting ones. They are usually women who die during plague events that either are upset or mournful of their deaths. They can also spread plague and pestilence, or so they might herald it, or they might turn up because of a plague. They're one of the few wraiths that aren't really bound to a specific area. But like all wraiths, they're quite susceptible to many of the same things. So we've healed, well, healed Lena. I should
Yes?
be looking for the herb.
Farewell.
Maybe I had the chance to say I could kill it, but maybe because I didn't choose that option, I got a different one. Find some buckthorn on the riverbed using your witch. Okay, I don't know why that was just... So the hunter, and then apparently buckthorn is on the riverbed. So I need to go back to town. I think I'll go to the... No, I'll hit the river up first. The river should be over here. Look for some buckthorn at the bottom of the river. Ah, yes. Granny's house with her pan. Should be some... That should all be buckthorn. It all showed up in the top. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there's the buckthorn. So I don't know how much I need, but I'll just grab a little bit. So it's a specific plant that is apparently aquatic. In nature, that is a chest buried at the bottom of the river. I am interested to check out. There's also another one down there. Let's just dive down and see what's in it. It's got some gloves, some nails, hunter trousers, and some crafting schematics. Vermilion. Familiar with what that is. There's also another one over there. That one was loaded quite to the brim. So is this one. Just random treasure chests at the bottom of the river. So let's go talk to a hunter. See if we can't track down a griffin nest. Roach. There you are, Roach. Alright, the hunter should be over here someplace. Take the main road. Let's check on the map. Ah, yes, I take this way. This should be his home.
Anyone home?
Must be out hunting.
See, in like normal games, I could see the quest vendor here at his home, but he is a hunter, so he's out and about, which is a tiny little bit of immersion that
Trail's fresh.
he has.
His love just left home.
He has his own life that he is continuing to do, instead of waiting around for the player to say hello. So I have to find you in the forest doing your job. Where might you be? Ah, there you are, Ms. Love.
You, Ms. Love?
Hear that?
Wolves? No. Wild dogs.
Yes. More dangerous than wolves.
How are wild dogs more dangerous
Dogs
than
more
wolves?
dangerous than wolves? Don't think so.
It's the truth. Know why?
No, but I guess you're about to tell me.
Wolves hunt to fill their bellies. Wild dogs kill for sport.
Just like humans.
Aye. They've learned much from us. Why not cruelty too?
So we're looking for the Nilfgaardian bodies.
I'm hunting bigger game. The Nilfgaardians the Griffin killed. Where'd you find them?
Ah, I see. You a witcher. That monster slayer they's talking about in the village.
Mm-hmm.
show you, sure. But, I gotta kill those mutts before they hurt someone. Will you help? That is, if you don't mind blunting your silver blades on them.
Sure, why not?
Sure. Griffin's not going anywhere.
It is
No, dogs might, though. So step careful now.
this
Come on.
fair exchange for
These dogs been a problem for a while
service?
now.
Since the war started, soldier on the march, he'll stop to rape a woman, strangle her, kill her man for a chuckle, even butcher a cow. But a dog, a kick in passing, no more. So these stray mutts form packs. They're gaunt, guts stuck to their spines, covered in scabies, but they just won't die, 'cause they're clever. More so than foxes. And they hate men something fierce.
So yeah,
Too late. Attacked another one.
that is unfortunate. And they're about. Oh, they're munching on them. Oh, dude, you are a nice shot.
Ugly bastard.
Get rid of. No, stop running away. Just wail on some dogs for a little bit. Ow. Brilliant. And we'll just collect the tallow and meat. We never have too much food in this game. Poor bastard. So yeah, they got a guy.
Dieter.
You know him?
We served at the Lord's Manor together, where the Black Army's encamped now. He was a stable hand, I was the Lord's hunter. But that was before... well, a long time ago.
For what, mate?
Before what?
Before they drove me from the village.
What did you do?
Nothing. I'm a freak. Sorry. I'd rather not talk about it.
Yeah, but I'm a freak too, mate.
I'm a freak too.
Aye, but of another kind.
If it's lycanthropy, I can help.
What?
Lycanthropy. Werewolves. Handled a few cases in the past. It's usually a simple curse that...
The Lord's son, Florian, and I, we loved each other. Dieter walked in on us in the stables. They drove me away. Florian hanged himself. Lord started drinking, and the estate fell into ruin. That's the long and short of it.
Oh, so he was gay, and in this world that's still abhorrent for some reason. So the hunter and the Lord's son were in love and were intimate. And the Lord found out and banished the hunter from his lands, which caused the Lord's son to become suicidal and kill himself, which then caused the Lord to become super depressive because it was his fault that his son killed himself. And then you see the dilapidated state that the estate was in, and that explains in its entirety why that manor is missing pretty much all of its roofs and most of its walls. So, yeah, sorry about that, mate.
I'm sorry.
Ancient history now. I was to show you where I found the Nilfgaardians. Come.
Is that also brings
Griffin,
me-
know anything about it?
Oh, not much. Not my kind of game.
You're his kind, though. Survival instincts alone ought to make you care.
I walk silent through the woods. No griffin can hear me nor spy me.
So that does also put into effect, essentially, this is a quest giver that is meant to show me some Nilfgaardian bodies. Not around for very long, but he is tied to this land, and his story and background are also tied to this area. He was involved with the local lord, was banished. He has an interesting backstory. It's this kind of amount of good writing that I really enjoy this game for, because he has a name and a backstory. Instead of just go here, see him, and he takes you here. That's a lot of blood.
Here. One lay there, by the stump, headless. The other hung from a branch, guts splayed, stretching down to... Watch out for yourself now.
I'll be fine.
I'll be fine. Not the first griffin I've dealt with. Not likely to be the last either.
Hope you're right. Good hunting now.
So yeah, this is a lot of blood.
Ground's black, saturated with blood.
That is a lot of blood. Oh,
A camp.
it looks like
Nilfgaardians were celebrating. Griffin interrupted them.
Looks like the griffin caught them while they were camping and apparently celebrating and probably drunk. But, oh, this looks like where they came from.
These prints are older and deeper, heavily armored. Nilfgaardians probably.
So, they came from this direction. And so we're following where they came from. They up here, and so what did the Nilfgaardians do to cause celebration? And then obviously the griffin found them. So, is that still footprints? Ah, more honeycombs. So, looks like they are up here. I'm going to just grab these honeycombs really quick. and-
Griffin's nest. What
Oh.
remains of it at least.
There is a dead griffin up here. But they said that the Nilfgaardians found them a couple days ago.
Corpse is a couple of weeks old. Still alive when the griffin brought him here.
Oh, that's...
Took a long time dying.
That sucks.
Bones. Horse. Dog. Human. A few months worth.
Oh, so that guy died slowly. So we have a dead griffin on a nest. It's, oh, yes. Emery Var Emrys is the Emperor of Nilfgaard. We should be meeting him eventually. This is a griffin nest. And, there is some things to loot here. Nothing like loot robbing the dead.
Burned. Only a human could do this.
So it seems like the Nilfgaardians found the nest and burned it and killed one of the griffin?
Female. Larvae in her wounds have already hatched. Been dead at least a week. Other griffin must be a male.
So, vengeance. Massive amounts of hatred for killing his mate. That would explain the aggressive nature of it. But, let's examine the wounds.
Deep cuts over the whole body. Not a drop of blood on the beak or claws. Didn't defend herself. Crept up on her while she slept.
So this is... we'll be seeing a little bit more, probably a bit more of this style of dialogue, where this is the Witcher's investigation. So we're going through the bits and pieces of the type of creature. So we examined the wounds, determined the age, and then determined the type of griffin. And through it we get more information and background of what this actual griffin is. So let's see how old it is.
Beak tips worn. Gray hairs in the coat. 10, 12 years old. Griffins pair off for life when young. Male must be about the same age.
So this allows us to essentially tap into the Witcher's expertise and knowledge without actually having to read a lot of books or information like the Bestiary. And this, again, this is Geralt. This is his job. This is what he would normally do in order to determine what he's fighting up against. This isn't a new Witcher, this is a seasoned veteran one. But what type of griffin is it?
Thick shaft, dense barbs. A royal griffin.
So, we've determined it's an old royal griffin that was killed in its sleep.
Explains why the male I ran into was so aggressive. Hunted the Nilfgaardians down here in the forest first, then started prowling the area. Done all I could. Should talk to Vesemir.
Also leveled up. Preparing for combat. Yes. So, talking to Vesemir will most likely start off the actual contract. So Vesemir should still be in Whiterun. In the harbor. Or not the harbor, in the town, in the tavern. We should be able to... Is there anything else about around? So there are two... Actually, yes. Before we go about, I'm going to check out these two question marks that are deeper in the woods. Because I do know we can come back to the area, but I don't know how motivated I might be to do so. How motivated we might be to come back here. So there's one to the left and one to the right. Are there any... So we don't hear any creatures. We don't sense any of them. Oh, and this is why I like finding things coming up here.
Place of power.
Place of power.
Should draw from it.
I believe we ran into one of these last time. We can draw power from it. It gives us a temporary buff, and more importantly, it gives us an ability point. Which an ability point is essentially, it's a talent point for our character. And we get one for leveling up, and we get one for finding the stones, so I have 4 now. Still haven't really decided the path I would like to go down. Oh, but I believe I do have mutagens. I will use the normal Wraith one. I can just slot this. Oh, yes. That's right. I remember now. So there are different colors of mutagens. There are red, green, and blue mutagens, as to refer to the combat, which is red tree, the blue, which is the magic tree, and the green, which is the alchemy tree. These mutagens, I should be able to... Yes, so I can slot and unslot them at will. So depending on the mutagen I have slotted, can get... So right now, this mutagen gives me 50 vitality. If I had... You will also be slotting a certain number of abilities. So the talents that are active in this area here. So as I level up, I believe, yes, the next one will be at level 4. I get another talent slot. I'm not going to be purchasing any of these slots or any of these abilities at the moment. Again, I haven't decided which path I really would like to take. But if once you purchase one of them, they're not active yet. You have to then drag them over to and put them into one of these 12 slots, which then activates them and you gain the bonus for them. Each of the 12 ability slots are then broken up into 4 groups of 3, which have a corresponding mutagen slot. Depending on the colors of the abilities, will buff up the attribute of the mutagen. So if I had green abilities slotted into these slots, I would get more vitality out of my green mutagen. Essentially, synergy bonuses for mutagens and abilities. The abilities themselves, I do not believe get any more powerful, but the mutagen is the only one to get more powerful. So I'm still going to be holding off on that, and I will definitely be thinking of the path I would like to follow. And again, if there's any suggestions of this playstyle individuals watching would like to see... Oh! More deserters! Are these the deserters in the middle of the woods that could use the medicine that I'm just going to be killing? It might be. I have no idea. But made short work of them. And stab you through the heart. Oh. So yeah, there are definitely a bunch of Temerian deserters